Hey guys, I'm Grestar, and how about we watch RWBY Volume 4, Chapter 5, Menagerie. Of course, make sure to click here to go to the official release first, like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff, and then come back here and we'll watch it together. So last time, family, I'll admit that, as I said in that video, I was rather disappointed because I was really looking forward to seeing the whole, Yang subplot with her arm and getting over that trauma and everything, and I didn't like how they approached it. And I don't exactly love how quickly they seem to be moving through it either. So it's just kind of a double bad whammy for me. And I'm hoping that over time, as we get to see, I get to see, yeah, specifically the plot progress and the Yang, kind of subplot move along further, I'm hoping that the development will make me feel better about it, that will amount to something better than I'm currently picturing, that it won't feel rushed or sloppy or like things wouldn't have happened. Because, I get that, Yang, like I mentioned, I think I talked about all this in the last video, but I get that Yang and her dad probably have the same kind of sense of humor, because, who else do you get it from, right? That sort of deal. And I get that you kind of test the waters with jokes and remarks and whatnot and see what's comfortable and what's not. So, there's that kind of thing. However, I don't think that he should have felt that that was even worth risking at that point in time. And I definitely don't think that Yang should have laughed about it. And if she felt badly about it afterward, like if she was only pretending so that everyone felt okay, so they didn't feel bad for her, then we should have seen a scene later on where she's alone or something, or she confides in someone, and we could just tell that she is still upset about it. Because her waking up from a nightmare about it, going downstairs, then having her dad joke about something like that, that doesn't work for me. It just doesn't. And if they had played it out differently, I might have been like, oh, Yang is just tough, and with her father, they're moving on, they're moving past it. But again, waking up right away from that dream, and then all throughout this volume, every time we've seen Yang, she has been stressed about that one thing. That trauma has been affecting her. And so they've had it affecting her every time we've seen her so far in this volume, and then suddenly a joke is made about it, and it's okay with her? No, they just had a bad build-up if they're going to have that kind of thing happen. Now, again, if they had it build up a different way with her, I don't know exactly, but if they had it built up a different way, it would have been okay. But the way it was, it didn't work for me. For those of you, though, because there are a lot of people in the comments who are trying to, make me feel better about it, or trying to give me all these justifications and everything, I'm glad that you're okay with it. But even with all the justifications, because I feel like I shot down, at least in my mind, most of those in that last video, it didn't work for me. So yeah, I probably spent a lot more time on that than I should have, but I wanted to address that because that was the most important thing that happened for me last episode. That was what hit me the most. I think second most that's coming to mind right now is the weird farm boy, because, I don't know, one of my thoughts that I don't think I talked about, but that I talked with my younger brother about after I watched the episode, was that maybe somehow Ozpin was the boy. I don't know if spirit-wise or whatever, but it was just very odd. The whole scene was odd. That's just another bit of speculation. There's the whole thing where, maybe that's Ozpin's old place when he was a wizard. Or maybe the boy is Ozpin somehow. Or Ozpin's visit. I don't know. It's just all up for speculation at this point. But, it was an interesting thought. Anyway, so about this episode, it is titled Menagerie. And I think the thumbnail had Blake in it. So I'm pretty darn sure this is going to focus on Blake and her interactions with her family. I'm sure we're going to jump to other characters too, as we've been doing. I think every episode we've had multiple characters involved, like jumping from place to place. But I'm pretty sure the focus of this one is going to be on Blake and her time in Menagerie Island. So I don't have much else to say about that. It's just Blake with her family, right? Of course, something's going to happen. Something has to happen, right? But as for what is going to happen, I have no idea. And we can't know until we watch it. So with that, let's get to watching. 3, 2, 1, play. We got the intro and stuff. And I've already seen this. I'm gonna check my phone real quick. Nothing special. Okay. I don't have much to say at this point. I just don't want to skip it. Yeah. Yeah, and of course we got Sun with Blake. I didn't mention that, but I think I saw her in the thumbnail too. So that's a thing. But that bit in the intro actually with Yang, with Yang and her father, practicing, I assume, sparring kind of thing. We didn't even see any of that happen, and so you can't use that to say like, oh, well, that's how he knows that she's okay with it. Because again, from everything we have seen, she's not okay with it. She wasn't okay with it, and she shouldn't be this quickly, this early on. That sort of thing. Anyway. Yeah, to touch back on that again, right? After I spent like a couple of minutes earlier. Alright, Ruby. Here we go. Yep. It's a foghorn. Guess it's time for SpongeBob to wake up. I'm just thinking, it's Leif Erikson Day. Hinga-danga-dargan. Huh. What? All the Faunus? Nah, there's a lot of Faunus. Which is cool, you know, get more representation for them, because all we've really seen so far is like Blake, Velvet, and then like the White Fang bad guys, right? I mean, I'm sure we've seen dabbles here and there, but those have been the only ones with real focus.
Never seen so many Faunus in one place.
It was about the Faunus, that was right.
This is the one place everyone can feel safe, no matter who or what they are.
That could be foreshadowing.
Wow. Sure is, crowded, huh?
It's the one place. Did you not hear her?
Is it always so cramped?
Well, when you try and take an entire species and put them on an island that's 2/3 desert,
See?
yeah, it tends to be cramped.
I was
What?
right.
You guys have that much more space? Why waste it? A little desert never hurt anyone.
It's not like the desert in Vacuo, son. The wildlife here is more dangerous than most of the regions.
Oh, how?
So they gave us a terrible island in their corner of Remnant to try and shut us up.
That's a pretty good summary, yeah.
Though this part looks nice. And it's not like it being this crowded is... Honestly, it doesn't seem that
Try to
crowded.
make the best of things.
It doesn't to me. I don't know. I guess to Monkey Man, yeah, but...
Whoa.
This is Kuokuana.
Kuokuana. Kuokuana. Okay.
It's beautiful.
I'm gonna forget that, but I wanted to
I
pronounce
take it all back. This place looks great. Why would anyone ever want to leave?
That's not the point, son. We asked to be equal, to be treated just like everyone else. Instead, we were given an island and told to make do. So we did the best we could. We came together and we made a home where any Faunus could feel welcome. But this island, this town, will always be a reminder that we're still not equal.
But it is pretty sweet.
That we're still second-class citizens.
You live better than a lot of other people, from what I can see.
Hey, this guy's feeling pretty at home.
All right, time to go home.
Oh yeah? Which one's yours? Can you see it from here?
Kind of.
Is it that one? What about that tiny one down there? I like the paint job.
Oh.
It's that one.
Oh. It's that big one. That was fun. I don't know exactly what that means yet, but obviously it's important. Like her position. Or at least her family's?
What is it?
What do they call it here? Is it a chieftain? Is it...
It's just been a long time since I've seen my parents.
Are they aware about the whole White Fang thing? Because it wasn't, White Fang wasn't always bad, right? So, I mean...
Okay, if we're being honest, that's kind of intimidating.
Blake?
Hey, you!
Hi, Mom.
Aww.
My baby girl.
Hug her back. Do it now. There you go. That's happy. Good. You'll never guess, dear. What'd I tell you? It's nice seeing the emotion with their ears. Gotta point that out, you know?
We were horrified when we heard the news. The Kingdom of Vale wasn't perfect, but it certainly didn't deserve what happened.
Agreed.
We were both so worried.
Please, I knew she'd be fine.
That isn't the slightest bit true. You should have seen him pacing.
You guys have nothing to worry about. I've seen your daughter in action before, and trust me, she's got some moves.
And what
That's
exactly
right.
do you mean by that, Mr. Wukong?
Well, you see, sir, it's just that, you know, she's such a good fighter and all. And as a fellow fighter, I have a lot of respect for her.
Why is he here
And her
again?
fight, but also for her. Because of her
He
fight,
just
I
kind
don't
of followed me
know.
home.
She's not good looking. She is.
I see.
Poor son.
Or slightly.
You can hear him just digging his own.
Definitely above average. I mean,
Again, the expressions are great.
this tea is really good.
Played it off nicely, son.
I like him.
Mom,
Ooh. Getting a little cougar action in that Catwoman, huh?
Darn it, I completely forgot about the meeting.
Gira?
Give me a moment.
So why doesn't he have ears? I mean, I know not everyone does. I just kind of assume they all would.
is everything okay?
And I still wonder if
Yes,
they
Steve,
have
just
double
one
hearing.
timing. He can reschedule. It's just been hard dealing with them lately.
Dealing with who?
Whom?
The White Fang.
What?
Oh.
Dad!
Blake, what's wrong?
Miss Belladonna.
We had no idea you'd returned.
What are you doing talking to these people?
This is Corsic and Fennec Albane. They represent the White Fang here in Menagerie now.
It's clever,
Those
Fennec,
psychos are
because
here, too?
Desert Fox.
Young man, I'm not sure what you've heard of our organization, but I can assure you we're not nearly as ferocious as the media would have you believe.
What we've heard? We've seen firsthand. Your fanatics slaughtered people.
What is she talking about?
Uh-oh.
Precisely what we came to discuss with you, Your Grace.
Just listen to their
everything
voices.
all right?
They're clearly evil.
Wait, you guys seriously don't know?
No what?
The White Fang was at the fall of Beacon. They attacked innocent civilians, and they released Grimm into the school.
Is this true?
Sadly, Your Grace, it is.
Don't act like you're...
That's enough. Explain yourselves.
I guess now we'll see.
Though it pains us to admit, it has become apparent that the Vale branch of the White Fang is no longer operating under orders of High Leader Khan. Rather, they've elected to follow the rule of one Adam Taurus.
So there
I
are
believe you're all familiar with the young Adam
multiple
and his
branches of White Fang.
extreme philosophies.
You know, Beacon wasn't the first time the Fang started shooting up Vale.
The High Council had their suspicions of a splinter group, but they could prove nothing until this latest incident.
Well, their voices are still
Incident?
evil.
People are dead.
And it is a tragedy.
Your Grace, we came to assure you that Brother Taurus and his followers do not represent the will of the White Fang.
And how can I be sure of that?
We understand if you bear any skepticism towards these claims. The White Fang's tactics are admittedly
I was just
more
picturing,
aggressive
that is why we
since
brought
they
you this
found
fruit
High
basket.
Leader and became chieftain of Menagerie.
Chieftain, yeah. Hey, I got the
This-
title right.
This is no way to make our message heard.
We have ample documentation from the council meeting, as well as several strategies to apprehend and punish these strays if you'd care to review them.
I will. But another day. I'd like some time to reconnect with my daughter.
But of
Good
course,
and
Your
bad,
Grace,
yeah.
We completely understand. It was a pleasure to see you again, young Blake.
We were saddened when we heard of your departure from the White Fang, but understand if you can no longer support our cause.
It is a wearying fight, after all.
That's not
Who
what it's
says I'm
about.
done fighting?
If you ever do wish to return, you need merely to come find us.
Sister Ilya would be elated.
Yeah, her.
Goodbye, gentlemen.
So, those guys were creepy.
See, he picked up on the voices
I
too.
really don't like you.
Divided opinion between the parents.
An interesting development, wouldn't you say?
Interesting indeed.
Yes.
So, shall we inform Brother Adam?
We shall.
Man, those two, cunning as a fox, wolf in sheep's clothing. Yes?
I was hoping you could help me find someone.
You're creepy, mister. Is that the end of the... Oh, it is the end of the episode. Oh, that's unfortunate. Alright. Well, I'll talk about it soon. I'm just waiting for the credits to be done. You know how it is. All right, so the credits are done, and this one was about, let's see, real quick. It was 12 minutes and 12 seconds long, so now it's time to talk about it. I am a little bit disappointed with the length of this one. I feel that it was a little short, but I'm not nearly as, like, disappointed with it as I was in, like, Volume 1 and that kind of thing. Like, it wasn't that bad, and it did set up a lot of good stuff. I just feel like it should have covered a little bit more ground, because all it really did, Blake and Son arrived at Menagerie, they talked about Menagerie a bit, they walked through it, they met Blake's parents, and, like, over the course of a meal, and then they had that door thing, and then we get to see Crazy Guy. So it can be summed up, like, really, really quickly, and there wasn't a lot of moving around. It actually didn't jump to really multiple perspectives, unless you count again the Crazy Guy at the end, but I don't so much. So yeah, I wish that this one were longer and had more content and just involved kind of more stuff. But for what it did involve, I did enjoy. Like, I did really like, what we got to see, as far as Menagerie goes, as far as Blake's family goes, and her relationship with them, and I think that the interactions with them, Blake and Son and the parents were funny. And so I appreciated all of that. And of course, we do get to see now that the White Fang are still, mobilized and everything, that I don't know if there are actually multiple branches. I assume that there are, but, clearly those two were lying, and they have evil voices. So, yeah, that's the thing. But I guess that we just can't stop worrying about them at this point. The White Fang, I wasn't done worrying about them, but I thought maybe they'd lie low for a little bit longer. But it seems they're already on the move and stuff, so that's good. Especially considering, Blake's parents don't seem, they don't seem convinced by Blake and Son so much. He was willing to listen to her, which I was glad. I was gonna be upset if right when his daughter came back, he just completely ignored, her warnings and everything. But it doesn't seem like he's ready to blame the White Fang, and I don't even know if he's going to look too much into the situation. He said that he would review, like, the board meetings and everything, but I don't know. Those could be forged and all that too, so I think the only way that he could really learn the truth is if he reached out to other leaders, in the different branches, and it didn't seem like he was going to do that, especially if he's so out of the loop that he didn't know the White Fang was involved in the Veil Fall at all, especially considering this is months after the event, isn't it? So, I don't think that he's going to be of much help, at least immediately. Probably a little in time, but right now, no. There's not a lot else to talk about. Again, I thought the interactions were funny. I thought that Son was funny, trying to, dig himself out of the hole, but he kept going further into it, like talking to her father, while Blake talked with her mom. And I thought that Son's just, his shock at learning that Blake was the chieftain's daughter, and living in that big old place, and just him enjoying Menagerie. And again, I liked seeing Menagerie and all the different Faunus, the different representations that, could exist. It was all nice. So like I said, the content that was there, I enjoyed. I just wish that there were more. So yeah, let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below, whether you liked it, whether you disliked it, what you thought about this or that, etc., and so on and so forth. And do not spoil things for me or for anyone else in the comments. I want to keep these videos spoiler-free, so you can talk about this episode or anything that happened in the past, but please do not talk about anything that happened in the future. It will make me upset. So, you don't want to make me upset, right? Anyway, with that, we're calling it here. Cue outro, go!